How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Although the beginning of free agency occurred over a month ago already, the Lakers do not yet have a complete team. They have one spot remaining on their roster and could soon potentially even have two if rumors can be believed. And to address all of that, in today's video, I'll provide you with an update about all the latest rumors regarding the Lakers. And to begin, although it has been widely expected to happen, the Lakers have not yet officially signed DeAndre Jordan. And while that will eventually happen, that is not the major news here. However, the signing of DeAndre Jordan could directly lead to the departure of Marc Gasol, which might be the next thing that happens, because it would seem to be very unlikely that the Lakers will keep Gasol after bringing in DeAndre Jordan. They already have Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis, who will be taking up a majority of minutes at the 5, and now with DeAndre Jordan, who will likely take up the few remaining minutes left after that would leave Gasol without a role, and many expect that to lead to him leaving their team. And while there has been no confirmed route that he will be leaving by, it would seem rather unlikely that he will be outright waived. The Lakers have made it a point of trying to avoid further dipping into the luxury tax. And if they were to waive Gasol, they would still have to pay for his contract, along with having to pay for whoever they sign after waiving him too. And while that alone would not make for a big luxury tax hit, it all accumulates rather quickly. You have to remember that the further they exceed the luxury tax, the more they will be penalized, and they are already significantly over it. Which leads me to believe, as many others do as well, that they will try and trade him, and it actually won't be as difficult as you might imagine. Because even though he has little to no trade value at all, for a rebuilding team that can take on his contract in order to get a second round pick in return, that would not be a big problem for them. And that is what I predict will happen. They will likely trade him and a second round pick to a rebuilding team, where he is then waived, in return for a player on a non-guaranteed contract. And why would they trade him for a non-guaranteed contract? Well, they would because it would give them options. They could either immediately waive the non-guaranteed contract player without any financial penalty, they could hold on to the player for a little while to provide them with more depth before eventually waiving them without any financial penalty again, or they could actually keep the player for a lower cost than what they would have had to pay Gasol. And regardless of what they actually do with the player, it would provide them with more options, and I believe it would be the most logical and likely way for them to move on from Gasol. I do not see them keeping him after adding DeAndre Jordan, and it would only seem to be a matter of time before he is gone. But after he is gone, and they presumably waive the player they get in return for him, that would leave them with two openings on their team. So who might they fill with them? That is yet to be determined, but one player who continues to be linked to the Laker team happens to be James Ennis. It might be beginning to sound like a meme at this point, but once again, we have another report linking Ennis to the Lakers, and that gives me the opportunity to talk about him one more time. According to Michael Scotto, Ennis reportedly has been getting interest from Portland, Chicago, Orlando, and of course from LA. Which leads me to believe that he will not be available for much longer. He seems to be itching to sign with the team, regardless of who it might be with, because even though he has been linked to the Lakers on multiple occasions already, that does not guarantee that he will end up there. Even after openly inviting an opportunity to sign with them, after liking multiple tweets on Twitter about joining the Lakers, he really could end up anywhere. He is the definition of a journeyman in the NBA. He has played for 7 different teams during his 7-year NBA career. And yet, he only turned 31 years old not that long ago. He is one of the few quality free agents remaining at small forward and would seem to be a good fit for their team. But hypothetically, if they were to sign him, what kind of role would he play on their team? He obviously would fill out their depth on the wing, but what could he really provide them on the court? And well, he would provide them with your prototypical kind of 3-and-D player. He is not overly spectacular at any one thing on the court, but he is capable of providing value on both ends of the court. On offense, he is a good but not great 3-point shooter. His 43% mark from the 3-point line might make you believe he is, but I would not expect him to do that again. However, he is more than capable of shooting between 35 and 40% again, which is still pretty good. Along with that, he is a very good athlete, which allows him to be a good fast break player and efficient at finishing around the rim. While he will not create a ton of his own offense, he is good at playing off the ball and contributing without needing the ball in his hands very often. And then defensively, while he is not a lockdown defender, he is good enough to be regarded as a 3-and-D player. His good height, length, and athletic ability allow him to match up with almost any wing player. He can keep up with quicker wings, but can also match up with the bigger and more physical perimeter players. and all of that would make him a very beneficial addition to the Laker team. They currently do not have very many guys who can match up with bigger wing players, but Ennis would help address that need. He would also likely fit well into the up-tempo style of play that both LeBron and Westbrook like to play into, which could even give him a small argument to be included in their starting lineup. While I would not expect that to happen, his style of play would arguably fit very well in a lineup with their big three. Again, I doubt that would happen, and it's not even a guarantee that he will join their team, but I do like his potential fit with them. And even if they were to hypothetically add him to their team, they would still have one more spot remaining on their team after trading Gasol, which begs the question of who might they be targeting with that spot, and if I had to take a guess at that, I would say they will wait for the buyout market. Because after adding a player like Ennis to fill out their depth on the wing, they won't have any other huge needs, and that could lead to them being comfortable going into the year without a completed 15-man roster. There are always players who unexpectedly become available through the buyout market, and they likely want to have an opening on their team for the potential of that happening. They have already been rumored to be leaning towards that route, and I would not be surprised if they did that. After hypothetically signing Ennis, their final opening would be at power forward, and there are multiple power forwards who could become available through the buyout market, with currently predicted names including Al-Farouq Aminu, Thaddeus Young, Kevin Love, and more. No guarantees any of them will actually become available, but all are worth taking note of. The popular name that will continuously be linked to them will be Kevin Love, and although his agent has denied that they have no interest in a contract buyout, that can end up changing quickly. I mean, we heard the same exact thing from the agent of Andre Drummond last year before he ended up getting bought out of his contract. Again, no guarantees that Kevin Love or any of them will actually become available, but I do believe keeping an opening on their team for the buyout market will be the route that they go with. But with that will conclude my update on the latest free agent rumors regarding the Lakers. With Marc Gasol on his way out and James Ennis potentially on his way in, what do you think about the final moves that they might be making? Let me know your thoughts by commenting down below and we can talk about it there. That will do it for this video though. Thank you to everyone who took the time to watch until the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please remember to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. If you want to stay up to date on all my immediate thoughts moves around the NBA, be sure to follow me on Twitter too. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.